Hey guys, it is me, Simone. In this video, I'm going to do a paper talk. We're going to talk about the different types of paper and the paper that you need to be using for your projects. So I'm going to briefly go over some of the different papers out there and just give you tips and tricks on how to find out if that cardstock will work for your projects. I'm not going to go crazy in depth, but I keep seeing people over and over again fall for the trap of buying super thin cardstock because they thought it was 80 pounds because it said it was 80 pounds, but it's not what they think it is because they did not have the steps. So I'm just going to show you and tell you, well, not really show you, we'll tell you how to buy cardstock. And that's it. That's literally it. And then the cardstock I use. That's really it, guys. I have made this video so many times. But I really wanted to make it for you and make sure it wasn't too redundant, but I still want to get my point across and I still wanted to be helpful. So let's talk about this. Paper. But before we can talk about paper, I have to give my disclaimers real quick. First disclaimer, this is going to be helpful to people who use the empirical system. So if you use metric, use GSMs, this really won't be helpful to you. So I'm just gonna put that out there. Second thing I should put out, each paper company is different. These are kind of broad guidelines, but can still be helpful. If you need more specific, you would have to go to the company you normally buy your cardstock from and dig a little deeper, okay? All right, I think that sums up everything, so let's get started. So paper, we all fall for it. I see it all the time. You want to get nice quality cardstock for a nice price point. I don't want to pay like, $5 for like 10 sheets. That's ridiculous. So how do you know which cardstock is a good buy and make sure it'll be thick enough for your projects? All right, I'm not a paper snob here, so I kind of like make any paper I buy work, but I don't want you have to run through that issue of having to make it work because you bought it, So the first thing you should know is how paper is weighted. How does it get its name? Well, its weight name. Well, that's really easy. Paper is weight. It's just really weighted. So they just put about 500 sheets or a ream of paper on a scale and they weigh it by its bias. Once they weigh it, they give it that weight that says it. But this number they give it does not take into account the thickness, sadly. So it could be super thick watercolor paper that's 110 pounds. It could be super thin printer paper that's 110 pounds. It could be like in between cardstock that's 110 pounds. But they're all different. Sometimes that slight difference in thickness does not really connect to the weight, sadly. So they all come up the same weight even though they're different. To help you understand which paperwork for your project, a lot of these companies give their paper names. These names tell you the properties and the bare necessity, uses for that paper. Let me give you an example. Text weight paper or printer paper. Most of us use that paper in our printer. That's what it's used for. Printer, printing off like letterheads, business letters, all kinds of stuff. You're not going to find someone printing business cards on printer paper and handing them to you. No, that's not the use of it. They're going to need cardstock. Difference. Printer paper will never be thicker than its purpose. It has to run through the printer. So you're not going to find printer paper that can't run through the printer. Now you can put cardstock through the printer, but not through the paper casket. You're going to have to put it through the back. But with most printer paper, if you say, I'm going to say all, I'm just going to do most because I don't see saying all. It might be an exception out there. But generally, that's the rule. They will most likely keep to this rule of not, making paper that can't do its purpose. Why is it given that name if it can't do that? See? This is very important. Because people do not look at the name. Another example. This is the big paper that people fall for. It is Nina Exact Index paper. This paper is super cheap on Amazon, on Walmart.com. It's like You get 250 sheets for like $6 or $7 or $8. Like, it's crazy. You can get 80-pound, 95-pound, 110-pound paper dirt cheap. But the biggest thing I see in those videos, the reviews, is that people hate it because it's not thick. I can't tell you how many reviews I've seen of people complaining about that cardstock. And if you're wondering, that is the go-to cardstock that I use in almost all of my videos. Like, all of my videos. Why? Because it's super cheap and affordable, and it works for me. I use it for die cutting, stamping, and some card bases for the YouTube channel. That's really about it. But if I'm sending this off to like a magazine or something, or I'm selling it, I'm going to use thicker paper. But for my uses and giving it to family members that don't really care, the paper is not like super like, thick and expensive. It works fine. I had nobody complain. Now I'm losing my voice. Great. But that's where we run into the issue. People don't look at the name. They don't see that that name means something important. I always mention it. I mentioned the beginning. And why is the name important? The name tells you the property. Well, index paper has, well, for me, this is kind of how I classify it. The different companies will have their, things. But when I think of index paper, I think of index card or recipe card. Those are not crazy, super thick, 110-pound cardstock. They're pretty thin. I mean, yeah, they're thick enough to handle being used over and over again, to put in and out of your book bag or index card holder, or in a little recipe card. But they're not like super crazy thick, sturdy paper. You have to keep that in mind. So people buy that paper not seeing the name, and that name means a lot. A lot. So people buy it. Seeing 110-pound paper for like $6 or $7, $8. I was one of those people who bought it too, but I wasn't like too disappointed. I was okay with it. It's not the thickness that I get when I buy cardstock and paper pads, so I was fine with it. But people keep running into the issue. Sadly, another paper that I have, which the name means a lot. I have a Nina, I think it's Nina Exact Vellum Bristol paper. This paper has two names, and those names indicate the property. The Bristol tells you how smooth the paper is. It's very smooth, and it's amazing for markers, alcohol markers, because how smooth it is. The Vellum name gives it its little bit of a transparent tendency. So if I hold it up to a low light, I can see through it. So if you had like if you wrote a permanent marker a couple sheets back and layered that paper on it, you can see through it really easily, which can have great benefits for some people. If you need the kind of paper that's a little bit it's a little more easily see-throughable. I'm making up words, but the names mean something. Now that paper is much thicker. It's 67-pound paper, so it's pretty close to the cardstock you would buy at like Michael's at 65-pound paper. But you have to see the bigger picture. A lot of companies will give you scales that show you kind of where that paper lies, and cover stock is normally always at the end. It's always at the end of the thicker paper. Most brands use, when you're kind of scrapbooking and card making, you're going to use card or cover stock. They are used synonymously, but even though there is a slight difference if you Google it. If you go on most paper sites, they're going to use the word cover stock and not cardstock. But whatever. I think of the difference like this. If you have a business card, it's not going to be thicker than the cover of a book. Simple. It's going to be thick enough to be a business card, but it's not going to be thicker than a book cover. Even if it's a paper book cover, it's still not going to be thicker, because it has to hold up to being used often, opened up, flipped through, bend, folded, etc. So that's kind of what I keep in mind to help me visualize. I'm a visual person, so if that's not obvious by now. I'm having too much fun over here. Okay, so if those are used synonymously, that's what you're going to be reaching for when you're buying cardstock. Now, I use this paper often, the Nina index paper. I use it often. Stamping, die cutting, because when I'm layering or doing prototypes for you guys, I'm good. If I'm doing it, like selling it, or I'm making a 3D project that I'm going to give to somebody, I normally use thicker paper. But for bare necessities, it works fine. That's what this book, which is my playbook I made in a video or showed you guys. Sorry. Losing my voice, I'm trying to bring it back. I made a video. In here, it's the same paper. It's this, gosh, I think it's 90 pound, 110 pound cardstock. Really thin and flimsy, but works perfectly for this project of layering and things like that. And over time, the paper gets pretty thick of layering, like scrapbook paper on it, you know, all kinds of stuff. So it works fine for its purpose. But there's two different purposes here. So I wanted to make this video to tell you this. The equivalent to the Nina vellum paper is actually 65 pound cardstock. So the 90 pound index paper you buy from like Amazon or something, that's like $9 for 250 sheets or a ream, is equivalent to 65 pound paper. That's what you're getting. You're getting 65 pound paper, roughly. Which makes a big difference for some people, because you're looking at that number thinking it's like going to be 110 pound paper, but it's like closer to like 70 pound paper. If you get the 110 pound paper, it's like closer to 70. You know, cardstock. You really need to pay attention to that name. So if you're going out and crafting, you need to get cardstock. Nothing else in front of that name, unless it's just pretty cardstock or simply cardstock, amazing cardstock, lawn fawn cardstock. It just needs to say cardstock or cover stock. Any other name, you need to do research. Textured cardstock, fine, perfectly amazing. But if it says something else like index, bond, text, those are names that describe a purpose or a property like vellum and Bristol. And you might not want that. Now 67 pound paper that I have for my markers is amazingly good. Paper is about 65 pounds, 67 pounds, nice, works fine. But everybody's different. So the paper that I use for more of my thicker projects is actually was it Accent Essentials or something? Cardstock is 110 pound paper and it's crazy thick. I just think it's like a poster board paper. It is crazy thick. I'll leave all the links to the paper I'm mentioning in the description bar below for you guys. But it's a nice thick paper that someone else recommended to me. And watching her video, she gave me the idea to make this video, because I keep seeing people mention how horrible this paper is, the index paper, and I wanted to help you guys out so you don't keep falling into that trap without knowing it. So I said before, it stamps perfectly. I blend on it, I ink on it. I mean, I do ink alcohol blending on here because it's super affordable and it's thick enough to hold what I need to hold. So if you have recollection paper from Michaels, it's about the same quality. Maybe the one at Michaels is a little thicker. I couldn't really, I'm gonna say here, like, but it's about the same quality. If you bought paper pads from like online or from Michaels, the paper quality is about the same as the 90 pound Nina Exact index paper that you can get. So it's similar paper quality. I just wanted to kind of describe it to you guys so you see it. So if you get that medium weight cardstock from like gosh, Amy Tangerine and stuff like that, and the paper pads come like with 48 different designs or 48 sheets of paper, it's about the same quality. So I wanted to help you guys out, so I hope this video was helpful. I hope it gave you some good ideas on how to, well, kind of figure out what you want to do. Now if you're still lost, biggest thing, look at the GSMs. Still lost, look at the GSMs. The closer you get to 250, the better. If you really want some thick, sturdy cardstock, make sure your number is not in the hundreds. No. Look at the GSMs. The GSMs will really help you. The closer you are to 250, the better. Get as close as you can that you can afford. You're gonna find thicker paper, okay? It's an easy tip right there. Look at the GSMs. We're the complicated system over here. GSMs are so easy. That's why this video is not for that one. I really don't know what I would say. Look at GSMs. All right, guys. Thanks for watching my video. Have a great day. Bye. You know, I don't know what I was saying, but I hope this video was helpful. I had fun talking with you guys, and have any questions, please leave them below. I try my best to respond as quickly as I can. I've been having some issues. My and what was it called? YouTube does not notify me when I get comments. It only notifies me when I get new subscribers. So I need to go on my thing and change that so I can still see your comments, because sometimes I just have to like randomly go and check to see if I got any new comments and like it and comment back. So sometimes I comment like, you know, a couple days late, or it'll be like a month, 2 weeks late, because I just don't see the comments. I don't get notifications of them. So I'm very sorry about that, guys, but we are growing. I'm super excited. I'm very excited. Now I do have some news here. I should put this out here. I want to upload this video pretty quickly, so it should be on Friday the 28th or something of June. So I'm trying to squeeze for that. But I did my giveaway announcement video, and the lady did not email me back. I've been kind of busy. I've been checking it regularly, but she never emailed me. It's way past the deadline, but I gave her a little more time, but she still did not email me. So I will eventually be doing a redrawing for the 400 subscriber giveaway, because she never claimed it. I'm sorry it's a little bit late. I've just been very busy. I just never sat down and did this video. So I will be doing that, guys. I do want your input. Do you want me just to wait off? And then we're getting like, I think we're at almost at 430 subscribers right now. I was going to do something different for 500, but did you want me to wait and do that for the 500, or just do a redrawing? It's up to you guys. I'll let you guys decide that in the comments on what I should do. So I think that's about it, guys. I can't talk, but I'm trying. I'm like, every time I sit back down try to make a new video, I just can't talk. Yeah. Yep. So I'm excited. I have some videos to upload and some editing to do, and of course, if I have to, the redrawing for the giveaway that was not claimed. So much love, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Get crafty.